Hello, my name is Miriam Shart, and this is the Narrated Developmental Narrated project. I will be discussing the physical, cognitive, and psychosocial domains of developmental stages of a young girl named Cassandra, who's 3 years old. I observed her interactions for about 2 hours at the Child Development Center at Santiago Canyon College. She was observed both in a classroom setting and in the playground. She was assessed to be in the correct stages that a normal 3-year-old would be in. For the physical domain, the evidence that I observed for her being in the correct stage and were by observing her gross motor skills and fine motor skills. So the gross motor skills are represented by her by this picture here, and the fine motor skills by the T-set. For her gross motor skills, she was observed riding a tricycle outside very fast and very well. She was also observed going up and down stairs multiple times, alternating her feet. So that was very, very advanced for a 3-year-old. For her fine motor skills, I observed her pouring water from a teapot to a cup outside in a sandbox station. She was refined in her movement and appeared to be functioning at the level of a 3-year-old. She was pouring water back and forth from a kettle to a cup. For the cognitive domain, I have a picture of a camera and of a girl taking a selfie. For the cognitive domain, she appeared to be functioning in what Piaget called to be the preoperational stage. This period is characterized by great expansion in the use of symbolic thought, which is illustrated by the growth of language abilities. I will be using the terms symbolic function and language development to show as evidence that she is operating in this stage. Preschool children show the symbolic function through deferred imitation, pretend play, and language. So I have a picture of the camera because she was playing with the camera. The deferred imitation was observed when she went over to a little boy who was crying because his mother left and said, "Do you want this camera? It's $16. She was not only imitating a teacher or a parent trying to pacify the little boy, but she was perhaps also trying to imitate a merchant trying to sell him a camera for $16. Another example of deferred imitation was when she was taking a selfie, hence the picture of a girl taking a selfie. She was taking a selfie using both the camera and an old-fashioned phone handle. So she would put it out in front of her and take selfies of her and her friends. Now for the second observation for language development, she rated closer to an older child of 4 years old. She spoke well in full sentences and very clearly. She succinctly stated at one time to a boy, "Stop hitting me, I'm not your friend." And she engaged in private speech when she went to the play office room and act like she was at work. So she'd be walking around with her pocketbook, making believe she was working, and she'd be talking to herself. She engaged others and loudly said, "Come on, follow me." So she was really an initiative type of person. And that's why I have here a picture of a young girl talking on the phone. She had a strong command of the English language for a 3-year-old. She's probably closer to a 4-year-old for language development. For the psychosocial domain, in Eric Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, Cassandra is in the third stage of psychosocial development. This stage is called the initiative versus guilt stage, which occurs between 3 and 5 years of age. During this stage, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing, playing, and social interactions. Caregivers who are discouraging or dismissive may cause children to feel ashamed of themselves and to become overly dependent upon the help of others. As you might guess, play and imagination takes on an important role at this stage. Children have their sense of initiative reinforced by being given the freedom and encouragement to play. When efforts to engage in physical and imaginative play are stifled by caregivers, children begin to feel that their self-initiated efforts are a source of embarrassment. Well, I made 2 observations that can show this developmental stage of initiative versus guilt. Well, first with the pocketbook. The second stage, or the first stage that I observed, was when she was playing with an adult-sized pocketbook. She was putting things in and out of it, like her phone, the old-fashioned phone, the camera, and a wallet. She said she was going to work and then proceeded to go to the work area, the office desk play area that they had set up while she was talking to herself. The second observation was when she initiated a trip to the beach. She organized with her other friends and the teacher, and she told everybody to come follow her. She was going to the beach. But then when she got to the beach, she decided she was going to go to the store. And she had the teacher and her friends follow her around the room. Then when she got back home, she proceeded to cook dinner and feed the at make-believe food. So this is an example of 2 observations made in the psychosocial domain that proves that she's in the initiative versus guilt stage. This concludes my assessment of a 3-year-old who's in the preoperational cognitive stage and in the initiative versus guilt psychosocial stage. Thank you very much, Miriam Sharp. Bye-bye.